Good morning, everybody. This is Pastor Todd's Huge Face coming to you on the second day of Advent. This is November 29th, 2021. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Our reflection today comes from one of my favorite spiritual authors. This is Richard Rohr in his Preparing for Christmas. So the title of today's reflection is Making Room Inside. And our focus scripture is Matthew 8, 5-11. It reads thusly. When Jesus entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him, appealing to him and saying, "Lord, my servant is at home in terrible distress." And he said to him, "I will come and I will cure him." The centurion answered, "Lord, I am not worthy to have you come under my roof, but only speak the word, and my servant will be healed. For I am also a man under authority with soldiers under me, and I say to some, 'Come, go,' and he goes, and to another, 'Come,' and he comes. And to my slave, 'Do this,' and the slave does it." When Jesus heard him, he was amazed and said to those who followed him, "Truly I tell you, in no one in Israel have I found such faith. I tell you, many will come from east and west and will eat with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So here's what Richard Rohr has to say about that. He focuses on Matthew 8:8. "Lord, I am not worthy to have you come under my roof, but only speak the word, and my servant will be healed." The American Declaration of Independence says we have an unalienable right to the pursuit of happiness. God created us to be happy and joyful in this world and the next. And Jesus says the same several times in John chapters 14-17. The only difference between the two is that any happiness that is demanded from life never becomes happiness because it is too narcissistically and self-consciously pursued. The joy that the world cannot give, that's John 14:27. The joy that the world cannot give always comes as a gift to those who wait for it, expect it, and make room for it inside themselves. The first is self-assertion. The second is self-surrender. The first is taking. The second is receiving. Those are two entirely different human dynamics. You do not catch a butterfly by chasing it. You sit still and it alights on your shoulder. Then it chooses you. That is true happiness. When we set out to seek our private happiness, we often create an idol that is sure to topple. Any attempts to protect any full and private happiness in the midst of so much public suffering has to be based on illusion about the nature of the world we live in. We can only do that if we block ourselves from a certain degree of reality and refuse solidarity with the other side of everything, even the other side of ourselves. Both sides of life are good and necessary teachers. In fact, failure and mistake teach us much more than our successes. That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's probably true. Failure and mistake teach us much more than our successes. Failure and success were often called the two hands of God, or the Paschal mystery. It takes struggles with both our darkness and our light to form us into full children of God. But of course, we especially resist the left hand of God, which is usually some form of suffering, read loss of control. As in our gospel today, it was the same suffering of the centurion's servant that brought the centurion out of his comfortable house and then invited Jesus into that house. Suffering and solidarity with the suffering of others has an immense capacity to make room inside of us. It is probably our primary spiritual teacher. And Richard Rohr asks us to reflect on this question. You can carry this about in your day today. What attachments in your life can you let go of to make more room for God? God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.